Right now, U.S. officials are tightening the requirements for non-citizens looking to get their commercial driver's licenses. This comes after deadly truck crashes across several states involving drivers who were in the country illegally. Our Mercedes McKay is joining us in studio with how this could impact us right here in Missouri. Mercedes.
Yeah, Michelle, that's a really big question this morning. So under the new rules, only about 5% of current non-citizen commercial drivers would qualify. There's only 3 specific kinds of visas that are eligible, so let's get into them. H-2A, which is for temporary agricultural workers, H-2B, temporary non-agricultural workers, and E-2, people who make substantial investments in U.S. businesses. The rules won't be enforced retroactively, though, so the other 95% of drivers will be allowed to keep their commercial licenses until they're up for renewal. While Missouri was not listed as a target state in the recent audit by the U.S. Department of Transportation, the state's Department of Revenue temporarily paused the issuing and renewal of CDLs for non-citizens as soon as the new rules went into effect. A spokesperson for the Department of Revenue said they need time to review practices and policies as they move forward with the federal mandates. In a statement, they added, quote, "Missouri has miles and miles of roads and highways, and we appreciate those drivers who use them to transport goods and products across the state. Our objective in this is to make sure we are doing our part to keep Missouri roads safe by properly licensing these drivers." Now, to really understand the impact here in Missouri, I spoke with the CDL training director at Midwest Technical Institute, Robert Merkling. He tells me right now it's just too early to tell.
We know that there's a shortage of drivers already, so we feel like that at some point it could impact the industry, the supply chain. And a lot of that's going to depend on how many students that the schools can train and put out there, safe drivers to replace maybe some that aren't going to be able to drive anymore.
Now, the Missouri statute gives the Director of Revenue the ability, when necessary, to establish or halt these programs. And according to the Department of Revenue, they issued about 700 non-citizen commercial driver's license and commercial pilot license in 2025.
All right, very interesting. And we just heard the shortage. You've been talking about the shortage. So we've seen it a lot, especially after COVID, right? But is the industry short of drivers? How much? How big of a problem is it?
There's still really short of drivers, Michelle. About 200,000 drivers nationwide.
Wow. Okay.
We don't have. Now, something Robert Merkling did tell me that I spoke to him about, he said what they're hearing right now is that implying when these changes happen, it could actually increase the wages for drivers if there is a major labor need. And on top of this, there's also going to be a lot of baby boomers, he told me, retiring, which could also have an impact on the supply chain. He did say interesting, though. I asked him, I was like, is Gen Z interested in becoming truck drivers?
Yeah.
Are you seeing a big lax in people? Yeah. And he said they actually are.
Okay.
He's trying to, they're having to, just like everyone, make it enticing for them. So he said they're actually, I thought this was interesting, they now have gaming consoles and the ability to play games in the trucks while they're on their breaks and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Little things like that are making it enticing for the younger generation.
You know what I was thinking, though? I was thinking of that accident, that crash that happened a week ago on Sunday, with the truck driver who dozed off.
Yes.
It's so hard to get truck drivers, and if there are shortages and maybe drivers are not adhering to the laws in terms of getting rest.
Yeah.
And then I also saw, I can't remember, I think it was Texas, where there are autonomous semi-trucks being tested now.
Yes, I did see that too. Yeah, which is kind of scary.
There's a lot of stuff going on in the industry, right?
Yeah.
That makes you go, okay, well, what's going on? And
And it's one of those industries too where you're not with your family a lot. So it's a big decision to make if you want to be around,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so
thanks for looking into it.
Yeah.